So we taught you how to do long division the long way. Now we're going to teach you how to divide a polynomial by a polynomial an easier way. Now, what we have to do first of all is we're taking x cubed minus 2x squared minus 33x plus 90 and dividing by x minus 5. Now, what we're going to always do, think back to when we had the roots. If we had x minus 5 as a root, that means that's going to equal 0. We did that in quadratics. So what value for x makes that a true statement? X is going to equal 5. We're going to have to use this in our synthetic division. So what we do is we take whatever x value goes in here to make this 0, and that's what we're going to use in our synthetic division, and we're just going to write 5. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what looks like a division sign, but it's going to be upside down. So you have to kind of stand on your head and blur your eyes and imagine that's an upside down division. So now what we're going to do is we're only concerned about the coefficients. What that means is we're only concerned about the numbers in front of each of these variables. We're not concerned about the variables themselves. So what we're going to do is we're just going to write down the coefficients. So the first coefficient is 1. Second coefficient is -2. Third coefficient is -33. And the fourth coefficient is plus 90. What we do to start is we bring down this 1. Whatever that first number is, we always bring that down. And now what we're concerned about is multiplying this value by whatever the value is out here. So we're going to multiply 1 by 5. So 1 times 5 is 5, and that number gets written under the next coefficient. Now we multiply and add. And again, we just add these numbers together. So -2 plus 5 is 3. And we do the same thing again. We take whatever this number is, 3, multiply it by 5, and it goes under the next coefficient. 3 times 5 is 15. When we go -33 plus 15, we get -18. And we do it again. -18 times 5 is -90, and we get 0. Now, it might just look like a bunch of gobbledygook right now and a bunch of numbers, but we have to go back and compare what we had before. We did the exact same question, if you hadn't noticed. This was our solution, x squared plus 3x minus 18. Let's look at these coefficients. The first coefficient is 1, the next coefficient is 3, and the next coefficient is 18. All right, let's look back at synthetic division. What coefficients do we have? X, or the 1, 3, and -18. Okay, that's going to come in handy. Let's look back here. What was the remainder? Well, the remainder before, when we did long division, was 0. All right, what's the remainder going to be in this case? Well, let's look at this number. This number right here is 0. That's what we're going to take away from this synthetic division, is we've now been able to determine what the solution is. The last value is going to be your remainder. So whatever that turns out to be, that's going to be the remainder. And these numbers are the coefficients of the quotient. Now, there's only one other thing that we have to keep in mind to do this synthetic division, is if we originally had x cubed, if we divide by x, this power, this degree, is going to drop down 1 for our coefficients. So let's look at this. That's what we did here. We had originally x cubed, we divided by a single x, and our quotient dropped down to an x squared. So all of the coefficients, or all of the exponents, drop down by 1. And that's what we're going to do right here. This number is the leading coefficient of x squared, dropping that degree by 1. So our solution is just going to be x squared plus 3x, and we just write them in descending power, minus 18. And that is exactly the same answer that we got when we were doing long division. So synthetic division is a bit tricky at first, but very, very simple, and makes the long division very, very easy. Let's look at solving this one. We're going to solve this using synthetic division. And let me go through this one more time. We're going to go again in extensive detail here, because once you have synthetic division mastered, you'll never go back to long division. So first of all, we need to determine what number for our divisor makes this thing equal to 0. Well, of course, it's negative 3. So that's what we're going to start with. We're going to have negative 3. We're going to have that upside down division sign, and we're going to write our coefficients. 2, 1, 2, 1. And now we can just do synthetic division. We bring down the first number to start, which is a 2. And now we start multiplying and adding. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. 1 plus negative 6 is negative 5. Negative 5 times negative 3 is 15. 2 plus 15 is 17. 17 times negative 3 is negative 51. Negative 51 and 1 is minus 50. Keeping in mind that this last value is going to be the remainder, our solution now is 2x squared, dropping down that x 1 degree, minus 5x plus 17. That's our quotient with a remainder of 50. So if we wanted to determine what the quotient is and the remainder, there it is. It's one easy step to determine what that is.